established rich coming right back at you. How can a man have perfect discipline for 36 minutes and have none of it in the rest of his life? That's the question that will not leave my mind when I think about Gervonta Davis. Because when you watch him fight, you see control. You see patience, timing, emotional mastery. You see a man who knows exactly when to move and when to wait. But when you look at his life outside the ring, you see the exact opposite. You see chaos. You see reaction. You see a pattern that's been repeating itself for years. And now he's being sought by authorities after an alleged incident in October. And what makes this different ain't just a warrant. It's the fact that nobody can find him. And when you can't be found, it changes how everything looks.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Bryant Davis.
Professional boxer Gervonta "Tank" Davis once again finding himself on the wrong side of the law and once again on charges that stem from an alleged domestic violence incident.
Battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping.
Miami Gardens police said it was October 29th. A woman claiming to be involved in an intimate relationship with Davis since 2022 arrived at the police department with her lawyer alleging Davis physically abused her.
The victim reported sustaining minor injuries, including visible bruising to her left arm at the time the report was made, and she sought medical attention.
Investigators said just days prior, surveillance video shows Davis arrived to a gentleman's club where the victim was working.
The victim reported that Mr. Davis grabbed her by her back of her head, pulling her by her hair with one hand and by her throat with the other.
The victim only able to get away after he released her. Turns out this is not Davis's first run-in with the law involving domestic violence. In 2020, he was seen grabbing his then-girlfriend by the throat at a celebrity basketball game. In 2022, I was there as he bonded out of the Broward County Jail after being arrested for allegedly hitting an ex-girlfriend in the face. But most recently, in July of 2025, we were there as he bonded out of a Miami-Dade County jail after allegedly striking the mother of his child in the back of the head. Now, it's U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force assisting the Miami Gardens Police Department as they work to arrest Davis on new charges. And at last check, Davis still has not been arrested. He is still not in custody. That said, I have reached out to the attorney representing him to find out if they are aware of this arrest warrant and if he will turn himself in.
Now, let's be clear. These are allegations. These are claims that will have to be proven in a courtroom. But what we can talk about without speculation is the pattern, because patterns don't require opinions. They require memory. This ain't the first time his name has been connected to a situation like this. This is not a one-time story. This is years of legal trouble, allegations, arrests, courtrooms, house arrests, and jail time. And every time, it feels like he's learned nothing. And that's the part that makes it so sad. Not angry, just sad. Because when you know about his childhood, it makes sense. His mother lost custody. His father was in prison. He grew up in foster care, violence in the neighborhood, fights as a kid, growing up in survival mode. And survival mode teaches you how to react. It don't teach you how to process. It teaches you how to defend. It don't teach you how to grow. And if nobody ever shows you a different way, you grow up with the same mindset, just with money, with belts, and with fame. But the software never changes. And that's what we watching. A man who has mastered boxing, but never learned to master himself. And the part that hurts is this. God gave this man a once-in-a-lifetime gift. The ability to change everything about his life. The ability to escape everything he grew up in. The ability to be an example for the same kids who grew up the way he did. And he never stepped into that role. He learned how to fight, but he never learned how to live. And now the U.S. Marshals are involved. And that part right there is what makes people stop. Because you don't usually see that level of attention for a situation like this, which means this is being taken seriously. And instead of showing up, he gone. And running never makes anything better. Running takes a situation that could have been handled and turns it into something much heavier. Because nothing says, I don't respect the legal system, like disappearing. And now, we ain't just looking at a boxer in trouble. We looking at a man who never outgrew the thing he survived. And this is where the story stops being about boxing and starts being about a man who never got taught how to handle power. Because that's what fame is, power. Money is power. Status is power. Celebrity is power. And if you give power to a person who never learned emotional control, you don't get growth. You get amplification. Whatever was inside them just gets louder. And that's what we've been watching for years. Every incident, every headline, every court date. It ain't random. It's the same behavior, just in different settings. And here's the part that really hits hard. In the ring, he can't lose control. If he loses control in the ring, he loses the fight. So he knows how to master himself when it matters to his career. But when it comes to real life, there is no coach in the corner. There is no bail to save you. There is no referee to step in. It's just you and the parts of you never fixed. And that's why this keeps happening. Because nobody ever taught him how to handle disagreement without dominance. Nobody ever taught him how to walk away without feeling disrespected. So every situation becomes a test of control. And control is the only language he ever really learned. And this is why these allegations keep coming up. Not because he's evil, but because he's never evolved. And when you never evolve, you repeat over and over. And now you add running to the equation, which makes everything worse. Because even if you believe you innocent, even if you believe you did nothing wrong, the one thing you don't do is disappear. You show up, you face it, you let the process play out. But when you run, you take away your own chance to look responsible. And responsibility is what he's been missing this whole time. Not talent, not success, responsibility. And that's why this feels different. This don't feel like an athlete in trouble. This feels like a man who never learned how to be accountable for himself. Because this has stopped being about what he did and started being about what he never learned. Because at some point in every man's life, you have to decide whether your past is gonna be an excuse or a lesson. And it feels like Gervonta never made that decision. He survived his childhood, he survived his environment, he survived the streets, but he never left them mentally. He just left them physically. And that's a difference most people don't see. You can move zip codes, you can change houses, but if you don't change how you think, you still living in the same place. And that's what this looks like. A man who escaped everything he came from, except the mindset. And that's why this feels so heavy. Because boxing can't save you from yourself. Fame can't save you from yourself. Money can't save you from yourself. At some point, you have to learn to live with the same discipline that you use to fight. And until that happens, this pattern will not stop. It just gets louder and louder and louder. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.